Welcome to the Rise Together podcast weekly hot take series. Every week, we're going to bring you powerful stories and strategies from leaders who are making a real impact by building stronger, more resilient communities. Get ready to be inspired, motivated, and equipped with the tools to thrive in both your personal and professional life.
Hey everybody, it's Beth from the Foundation for Family and Community Healing. We are a nonprofit organization that's really passionate about helping individuals and organizations build strength and resilience through skill-based education and leadership development. I'm excited to talk to our guest today. We have Brandy Higley, who is the head of HR for Bucked Up, which is officially my new favorite company name. How you doing today, Brandy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. And where are you calling in from?
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, why didn't we start with you telling us all about Bucked Up? Give us the elevator speech.
Yeah, so Bucked Up has been around since about 2016. We are a kind of a health and wellness slash supplement slash apparel company doing great things over here. We have a head count of about 275 right now. And so, yeah, we make everything from pre-workout to supplements to apparel. So great place to be right now.
Oh, that's really interesting. And that's a pretty big company.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep. We're in about 30 different states. We're headquartered out of Utah mainly. So we have a few locations here, but yeah.
Okay. And do you sell to like online sorry, my brain just went off for a second, but retail, or how does it work?
Yeah, so we're in multiple retail locations. We actually have everything ranging from GNC to your, local grocery store. And then we also have Amazon store. So yeah, and then our online area as well.
Okay, interesting. So you are in the wellness space. What does that look like for your own employees? How does Bucked Up really address health and wellness and well-being for its employees?
Yeah, so it's great. We have gym memberships. We also sponsor influencers and athletes as well. And so that's a lot of fun. And yeah, so we are all about wellness here. We get a 40% discount on our products. And yeah, so it's interesting because a lot of our employees, when they come on with us, they want to start that health and wellness journey. And so they have all of the supplements and everything at their disposal that they can, use, and then also take part in our gym memberships as well. So we also have amazing benefits. So that's very exciting for them. We're all about preventative care, and yeah.
And what about like emotional? So we talked a lot about kind of physical health and wellness. What about the emotional side?
Yeah, so we do have an EAP program, employee assistant program that we offer at no cost to our employees. So that's great, and that really helps with the emotional side of things as well. Our employees get a certain amount of free sessions with a therapist that they can utilize. There's also a hotline that's open 24/7 that they can use. And then, yeah, if they need, further, not treatment, I would say, but if they want to use the services further, then they can be appointed to a therapist or a doctor, whatever they're kind of looking for. So yeah, giving them those resources and helping them, in their local areas is, yeah, what we offer as well.
Great. So HR it's the kind of like accounting and finance. It's the thing that ties every industry together, right? We all have people, no matter what our service industry is. So what are some of the kind of challenges that you are seeing, or that other organizations you might partner with are seeing in the HR space right now?
Yeah, so I think a lot what's going on in the country with labor laws and things being overturned or things new things being implemented, it's quite quite the thing to keep up on. But we use resources, everything ranging from SHRM to Employers Council. So yeah, we have those great resources that we use. Now, every HR department is different. Some of them do not utilize those, and but others do, and so that's kind of how we stay on top of things. And so I think that is a challenge. And then also, a lot of companies don't understand what HR's role is, and so I would say that has been a challenge as long as I've been in HR, not understanding the value of it, that we're here to help, make sure that we're mitigating risk and, yeah, keeping, us compliant legally and there for our employees to help them, be successful in their roles. And so that's a challenge, right? When you're going to an executive team that might not or a CEO that might not understand the importance and the value of having HR, and then you have companies that kind of excuse the HR department from things, and before you know it, we're battling a legal claim or doing something with the EEOC, and so some employers find out the hard way.
Mm,
But kind of my stance on it is being proactive and building those relationships, so there's that trust there, and they understand what we can bring to the table. So yeah.
yeah. Yeah, very true. Everything boils down to relationships.
Yes. Yep.
Do you offer any like learning and development opportunities for employees?
Yeah, we do actually. I've only been with Bucked Up since January, but over the last 20 years, I've developed everything from leadership training to training for our employees as far as emotional intelligence goes, or the standard annual sexual harassment trainings that we do. So yeah, I think getting ahead of things is really important, and making sure that our leaders have the resources to best speak to things like ADA claims that might come up, or FMLA, or worker compensation, things like that. So yeah, I'm all about training and development, not only for the leaders and the employees, but the HR teams as well. You get a lot of these, HR professionals that might come out of college and only have like a year of experience, and so they don't know how to handle a conversation around ADA or discrimination, things like that. And so also training them is really vital as well, and so I'm all about that as well, to do it internally and make sure that they can best help the employees and the managers navigate those situations.
Yeah, for sure. What are some of the trends you're seeing in HR in the field?
I would say I'm seeing trends in the way that HR is structured, breaking out the departments. Back in the day, you would have an HR coordinator and an HR generalist, and that would be pretty much it. But what's exciting right now is you have HR business partners coming into play, and so I think that is a very big value add, especially when you're trying to build those relationships with the executives. So making sure that they have a designated partner.
And
So yeah, that's
what does
really
that
exciting.
mean?
Yeah, so HR business partners, they can range from what they're doing, as far as maybe they're doing org design, helping a manager build out their organization and their departments. It could also range from them wanting to help with reducing the turnover, and so they're really going in there and getting like feedback surveys, and they're doing all of that legwork, and then going to the executive team to present that and say okay, here's where we can improve. These are our recommendations for X, Y, and Z. And so yeah, it's a really exciting role to be in. It was actually one of my favorite roles that I did in HR. You also have some HR business partners that are solely designated to things like employee relations. And so that's what they do all day, every day, is, employee relations. And so that could range from, a discrimination claim to, a sexual harassment claim coming into play. So yeah, to violating maybe a wage law or something along those lines. So yeah, it's exciting.
So what do you think in terms of leadership development is really important for senior leadership teams?
Yeah, I think, right now in the world, I think it's important to help them on the emotional intelligence side and, navigating, you know, things like discrimination, um, gender identity, for example, they might not know how to have that type of conversation. And so it's HR's job to kind of help them navigate that and, help them to understand and know how to, retain their employees and have that welcoming, inviting atmosphere, right? So yeah, I think that's very important for them to go through and understand. It really what it is it takes, I think, life experience as well. And a lot of leaders, sadly, might not have that, especially those coming out of college and moving into that career role a little bit early. So helping them to kind of navigate that is really important. So
Yeah, that you do see a lot of young leaders now that you didn't used to see that.
yeah, exactly. And I think they're taught one thing in college, but when they come out and they're really in it, and it's real life, they have to have that experience and they have to start somewhere. And that's why I'm a firm believer as an HR leader, training my team on how to handle those situations and, what to keep an eye out for and also how to be proactive, making sure that we are being diverse and inclusive. I think in the world right now, it seems like, some people are trying to kind of move away from that. But, I feel like that's something that we need to keep up on and that's the human element of things. And
It is the
yeah,
world. No
yes,
matter
exactly.
who wants to
It's
put the
not going away.
filters on, it is in fact the world we live in.
Yes,
And it's a
exactly. And
beautiful world.
it is. It is.
So, yeah. Well, thank you so much. This was a great conversation. Brandy, where can folks find you if they want to connect or if they want to learn more about your company? What's the best way to find you?
Yeah, so the best way is actually on LinkedIn. So you can just look me up under Brandy Higley, or you can also go to buckedup.com, and we also have a LinkedIn page there as well.
So great. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's great to meet you. And thank you, listeners. We'll see you next time.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for joining us today on our Rise Together podcast weekly hot take series. We hope you've been inspired by today's stories and strategies for building stronger, more resilient communities. Remember, resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about growing through every challenge to become bigger and better. If you've enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with somebody who could benefit from these insights. Stay connected, stay resilient, and we'll see you next time.